Everybody, roll a goddamn die.
Okay, but not because you told me to.
Make me fucking sit up. I hate you.
A 19.
This is the arc where Matt
12.
rebels.
Yeah, I rebelled with a nat 20.
You
so-
fucking did. Okay,
Well,
so
guess
actually,
you're picking who fucking
house
does it
rules.
then.
Matt, who's doing the recap?
Well, let's see. I want to see what everyone else rolled.
I got a 12.
I got a 15.
Hey, Ryan, what'd you get?
A 19.
Okay.
And a sandwich, apparently.
Well, you did it last time.
I'm eating.
You know what? Chowder, I'm putting you on the spot, bud.
Okay, that sounds about right. Anyways, so
Love you.
previously on Dice Populi.
That's what I wanted. Yes.
There it is.
So we spent a good amount of time just figuring out the logistics of our little Bugs Bunny scheme. We didn't make a full-on hole in the ship, but rather just made a little hole that we can see through and then like teleported into the ship. We split the group. Jedda went to go find Florence, and the rest of the guys just decided to loot the treasure room.
Well, loot the air quotes treasure room.
I mean, there was money in there. There was
Not
jewels in there.
no.
I'm gonna get a long, strongly worded message from Ryan later about how he didn't get what he deserved in that room.
Dear Colin.
Dear Colin, I, Ryan, and thereby Kalt.
Guys, you all have magical items. I don't. Anyways,
I wasn't even thinking of it as an equity issue, but yeah, that's a good point.
So Maeve, Locke, and Kalt go to the captain's quarter. They come across Palumbo. I managed to find Florence in her cell. They say some very scary shit about, oh god, you gotta get out of here. It ain't about Galagath anymore. Some crazy shit's about to go down. They're both saying this, and it's like, oh shit, what's going on? And that's where we left off.
And Maeve, while invisible, disappeared into the alternate timeline of the Highlands, and nobody noticed.
Thank you for clarifying.
That too. Everyone but Maeve took their rings off, so yeah.
Now we're going to face the consequences of your actions. Interior, boat, day. A camera pushes in slowly on a mended piece of wood. And after a few seconds, the wood breaks a little bit and water slowly begins to drip into the bowels of the ship. Cut 2. Jedda, you are invisible, being yelled at by a frantic, almost unconscious Florence, who is muttering things about the dangers at play, sort of incoherently. How do you respond?
Whoa. You gotta slow down here. 1, how do you know me? I don't think we've ever met before. And 2, what are you going on about? What?
We can't let them get what they need in here. It's too dangerous. If they get Galagath, their plans are not just what we thought they were. It's about everyone in the Badlands. Please, get on the wheel, turn the ship around, do what you do. And then Florence collapses on the floor, unconscious.
Well, I can't just leave her here. I stopped concentrating on my invisibility spell. Can't exactly carry her around, and everyone going, "What the fuck?" Oh boy. Man, I wish I knew what this Cthulhu person looks like. I use disguise self. I put on Major Lord official's outfit, but it's baggy and conceals my face. You know?
Real Assassin's Creed hood style.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna pick up Florence on her feet, but
arm under the shoulder, propping her up, limping along.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I'm gonna do that and get out of the room and make my way back to where we were.
Well, you're making a lot of assumptions about how this is gonna go down, aren't you?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but I assume there's gonna be some obstacle there. But I am gonna try to be all inconspicuous, I'm supposed to be here.
You open the door, and you have the prisoner draping over your arm as you walk them out. You catch the once sleeping fellow at unawares as his hand is deep in the pouch of Randall's specific goods paraphernalia, and upon you exiting, you have selected a uniform with a higher rank than his, and he quickly tries to draw a string on the pouch and stands at attention and says, "Sir," and hides the pouch behind him as you go walking by.
Smoking weed on the job again, huh? I got my eye on you. And I keep going.
I would like you to make an intimidation check, straight up.
All right, sweet. That is 17 plus 6 altogether, so...
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Expertise is really helpful.
The details of your disguise are not the most convincing, but you have effectively diverted the eyes of everybody in this room, not wanting to get a tongue lashing from someone they assumed was like the bosun of the ship. Your gruff voice was just shocking enough that they're not paying close attention, and you limp away carrying Florence around your arm. We're now going to take a look in the captain's quarters. Locke and Kalt, you do not know that Maeve is missing. So, the three of you are in the room. You two and Captain Bottlebrew is on the floor. You are still invisible. The flash of light just shone through the porthole a moment ago, and Bottlebrew expressed grave concern about what the ship is doing here. What do you do?
Well, Bottlebrew, do you want death or do you want to stop this? Because I can do either one. Like, finger guns pointed, but I'm invisible, of course.
There's a moment of confusion on his face that goes to like a mix of relief and frustration. He's like, "Oh, man alive, it's you. How in the hell did you... I thought he cast you ashore. Listen, I don't care if you get me out of here, but you need to get word back to Dennis. Ilion is not the game anymore. The Mage Lords have bigger plans than we thought. Get him through that tear and let him know. We gotta get this all sorted out."
I really don't want to belabor the point, but I need you to be very specific about how you wish to continue your existence.
I mean, in one piece preferably, but they have not been kind to me. They treat me like royalty here in this room, but it's just stick after stone after sword. They know how to keep them alive.
All right. There is a palpable disappointment to Kalt's voice. Let's see here. Oh, if I cast a spell, it ends. Do I care about Bubble Brew enough to do a little healing spell on him? That's a good question.
Kalt, hey, do you have anything that could, help him get back on his feet? Maybe he can help us.
Yeah, I could heal him. I got a healing word. But, he did also say that he kind of did a little bit of a takesies backsies on that. He said he was ready for death.
Listen, in my defense, I thought that you were one of me captors. I didn't think that it was somebody I could count on.
I didn't realize you thought you could count on us.
He just rolls back on the ground.
I think it just ends it on me. It doesn't end it on everybody else. It just ends it on me. But I will do a little healing word. I'll even do it at second level, just so he's got a little extra.
Your invisibility drops. You cast healing word. Could you go ahead?
7 points plus my wisdom mod, which is 1, so he gets 8 hit points back.
So he's still in rough shape, but he's able to sort of sit up as one of the open gashes on his midsection slowly closes itself. You can see it, the skin reform underneath the bloody tear in the clothing. As he leans up, his beard is wetter and stinkier than normal after not being allowed to bathe, which, to say what you will about him, he's a pretty clean pirate. And this is just, sad to see him in this particular situation. But he sits up. Is it just you? Where's the rest of your... Oh, where's the big one, the little one, the greasy one? What's the...
No, greasy one is technically in another plane of existence. But the big one and the little one are here with me.
Hi, hello.
All right, hello. Little one, it's good to, know you're there again, I suppose. All right, we need a plan of attack. And you two notice that Maeve is not speaking up.
Oh, wait, Maeve, are you there? This isn't funny, Maeve. This is a serious moment. We just saved Bubble Brew's life. Hello?
Is there a way that I can end the invisibility on myself?
Yeah, you can just drop it or take an action.
Because it's not my spell, so I wasn't sure.
You could swing your sword or something, or
okay.
There's a lot of different ways to get rid of it.
So yeah, I guess I will start swinging around to try to come back into view. And...
Okay, yes, I'll say without much fuss, you managed to drop invisibility, and you look around the room for signs of Maeve.
Maeve, please, where are you?
Locke, roll insight.
That is a 13 plus 1, 14.
You recall the flash that just went off.
Right. So I'm going to look down at my hand and, notice that I'm not wearing the ring and just be like, son of a bitch, she kept the ring on.
Kids these days. All about their bling bling and such.
I told her to take it off. I told everybody to take it off so that this wouldn't happen.
So I take it we're maybe in a little more trouble than I first thought. And we're going to shift perspective. Maeve, the flash washes over you. The ship is gone. and you're about 20 feet in the air above the river leading out of Nar Enial. What do you do?
I'd like to cast polymorph onto myself and turn into a dolphin.
There are a couple of fishers on a boat, maybe 1,000 feet up the road, that just see a dolphin appear in the middle of the air, just splash into the water in the distance. So they'll have a fun story to tell people, but you safely land in the water. This is the Highlands. It's pretty serene, it's peaceful. The tear is in eyesight, but miles away. What do you do next?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to leave because I don't want to get away from the ship. I'm going to go maybe 50 to 100 feet away upstream, just to put a little bit of space in between, where I appeared and where I presume I might show up again. I'm going to turn back into myself, and then I want to use a cantrip on the crystal.
You do all of those things. You swim upstream, you revert back into your other form, you go to palm the crystal. As you do, though, you do hear a voice carrying on the wind. Wait!
I will try to look around and see what do.
You see two figures in the distance, pretty hard to spot, moving up the beach at not a breakneck pace, but, hustling up the shoreline.
Can I roll perception, see if I can get any details on them?
Go for it.
That is a 14.
You squint, but with the water in your eyes and the shock of being thrown back into this timeline, it's a little hard to make out. If you swim a little closer, you'll get an eye of them in a minute. So you could investigate, or you could peace out.
I'm going to piece the fuck out.
You palm the crystal. You hear, oh, come on! And you zip-zap back into the other timeline, right as...
that was obviously bait, man.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know
Maeve
that.
did not know that, straight up. So
Hold on. You've been around bait long enough to know what he sounds like, but okay.
I failed my perception check.
I trust the role play here. So, Maeve, you reappear in the water. You are pretty close to the ship. You are maybe 30 feet off the bow of the ship and floating in the water. What do you do?
I think I'd like to just... Can I just tread water for the time being?
Absolutely. So you're sitting there, getting your bearings. As you look up at the ship, though, in the portholes near the front, you do see Locke's face as he looks frantically around the cabin of the captain's quarters.
I guess I'll try to wave and just be like, hi. Oops.
Locke, perception.
Ooh, that's not good. That's a 10.
If I can see him, then, and it's within 120 feet, I'm just going to cast message on Locke if I see his face through the porthole. I'll just be
You
like,
can do that.
Hi, I'm outside.
Back in the room, Locke, after you're cursing under your breath about Maeve keeping the ring on, you hear her voice in your ear as you approach the porthole.
I can hear her voice?
Yeah, she has cast message on you after seeing you through the window.
Oh.
Hi.
Maeve, where are you?
I'm outside. So I didn't take the ring off.
Well, yeah, I figured that out.
Yep. So that's fun, but now I'm out here.
How do we get you back in?
Well, maybe I'm like the getaway person. I'll keep the boat running.
Okay, fine. Just be ready. We're going to try to get out of here ASAP, and we might have an extra person that we weren't planning on.
Okay.
All right. So, Kalt, I'll say at this point, Bottle Brew has managed his way back into his chair, and he's just sitting there.
Or she kept on saying that their plan is now greater and more dangerous. What exactly about their plan is so terrible?
I don't have all the details. It's only what I've picked up over the weeks I've been in this ship since we got taken away from the burger place. We always seem to think that it was just about control over magic, but it's bigger than that. It's a means to an end. The reason they're in here, whatever they sent you to get, it has to do with the very gods themselves.
And at this point, you guys are aware of, the battle between Emperor Kaiser and Asmagath, the splitting of Asmagath into Lema Seraphina and Galagath. All this Pantheon stuff is in your brains. Even if you, the players, are fuzzy on it, you guys are aware that that is kind of what's been going on, so... I don't know, maybe the impact of this is dulled a bit, since you're sort of in the know, but Bottle Brew still seems pretty rattled.
Well, yeah, we took care of that. To be honest, I don't know why this timeline exists. We handled that. We kicked Emperor Kaiser's buttocks.
What in blazes? You keep saying that the plane of existence, timeline, these are mumbo jumbo. What they're trying to do is change what everything is. They don't want it to be this way, and I can't even fathom what it would take to get that done, but it is beyond the skills of mortals to do it.
I mean, from the other timeline that we came from, everything is very much different.
You can't just keep saying timeline. What?
Then he looks at Locke like, dude, what is this? What does he mean?
If you let me give me a moment, I'll explain the multiverse of madness as I have coined it.
God.
Kalt takes a giant inhale, and we cut away. we cut to Jedda taking Florence. You reach the stairwell that you first ascended to reach the crew quarters. You can go up to the deck or down to the cargo hold. It's bustling with people, so you probably don't have a lot of time to make a decision. What do you do?
Cargo hold. I'm
Cargo
going
hold.
to the cargo hold.
You bring her downstairs. Past the fella who burnt his tongue one last time. He keeps going downstairs for some reason. It's kind of wicking you out a little bit, but you make it downstairs and sort of stumble your way. I'm going to say that you just go through the cargo hold, which has a few people in it, into precious cargo. Do you lock the door or no?
I lock the door, yes.
Okay.
And can I make a perception check to see that?
Absolutely, yeah. Do you have dark vision?
I do have dark vision.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead and roll perception.
4.
All right, so you step in here. You know it's dark in the room, but you can clearly see the barrels and crates that have been opened. There are forms of metal and gemstone cut in ways and forged in ways that you've never seen before, sort of glinting the bit of light coming down from the trapdoor leading above you, where you hear an extremely detailed explanation of how quantum mechanics interact when we're dealing with multiple timelines.
I would immediately think that's Kalt, so I know I rolled low on that perception.
Yeah,
but,
the voice sounds familiar, but it's a lot smarter than you've ever heard it before.
knowing that's Kalt, I'm gonna follow the voice and.
I'm gonna say you are gonna have a hard ass time climbing the ladder with Florence in tow.
Yeah, nope, fair. I mean, I'm gonna try anyways, but.
Make an athletics check with disadvantage.
Fair enough. Man, the first thing I got is a 7.
All right, cool. So you fashion Florence's arms around you, kind of like a prep would the sleeves of a sweater that they're throwing over their back. Can't quite get her elbows into a knot, but you get them tucked together as you try to climb up the ladder, approaching the droning description of reality, and you fall. And you beef it, and you land right on top of Florence.
I just mutter to myself, "Samark I am."
So, Kalt, as you're, I don't know where in the speech you are being interrupted, but you hear a thud underneath you.
So for some reason, there's only one of me, even though there should be many of me. But yeah, there's like one true Kalt. I think that's the thing that comes to mind. And then there's it's pretty good. I think a pretty good movie overall.
Kalt, shit, stop, buddy. We gotta come up with a plan here. Did you hear that giant thud, though?
I mean, ship's thud. It's probably fine.
Ships creak, ships groan. They don't thud. We gotta find Jedda. We don't know what's going on with her.
I mean, Jedda is very forthright and skilled. I'm sure she's completely fine.
I'm sure that I would feel a lot better if we went to find her, to regroup, save Florence, and get the hell out of here.
Fine. We can go check it out. If you're very worried. But do you wish to stay here, or would you like to come with us?
I'll move once we've got a plan, but I can't be walking around willy-nilly.
Sounds good. And I'm just gonna turn around.
Okay.
As I look over my shoulder, suspiciously. Wait, before it. What is willy-nilly?
Bubble butt?
What is willy-nilly? I can't be going around for no reason. This is a very strange idiom for you not to know, I think.
I mean, it is a weird idiom.
You should talk.
I am talking.
Okay, this is going nowhere. What the hell made that sound?
We're wasting time. We have 3 objectives here. We have to find Jedda, save Florence, and get back to our ship.
Gotcha. All right,
We have no idea what Jedda went off to do, so I say we go find Florence first, and in our exploration of the ship, if we happen upon Jedda, great.
Jedda, I will say that downstairs you can easily have recovered from falling at this point. You just got the wind knocked out of you a little bit, and you hear Locke and Kalt chatting above you.
Guys, get a little help here.
Oh, well, we found her.
That's 1 objective down, 2 to go.
So, like, I found Florence, but she's not doing so hot right now. I could really use your help here.
Well, hey, that's two.
Are they in the room that's like we came up from the ladder?
Yes, they are directly beneath you. If you move closer to the trapdoor, you will be able to see Jedda beneath you.
So yeah, I will go down into that room and try to help get Florence up into this room.
Okay, I'd say that after a moment or two of fussing, you do that. Now all of you are in the captain's quarters. Let me just roll this real quick. Okay.
So, 2 questions. Florence was going on about how they're planning something, and what they were planning was not what it seemed, and so much worse. I could really use a explainer on that. And second question, is Florence single?
Florence is unconscious, and nobody, Bottle Brew does not feel comfortable speaking for someone as strong-willed as Florence, and zips his lips on that front.
I mean, the lass is right. They came in here for something named a Galagath. And whatever it is, they believe it is the key to cementing their will over everything. It sounds like gobbledygook, but the ferocity with which they speak leads me to believe that, a lot of people are gonna get hurt whether they can do what they say or not.
Does Kalt also ask what gobbledygook is?
We know what Galagath is, right?
I said gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
Oh, so he like nods along, and you can he looks over at Locke. He's like, I'm gonna need you to explain that one later. Yes, gobbledygook.
I don't know if you have a way through that tear. In a pinch, though, a ship as mighty as this could probably survive the journey.
I would like Locke, Kalt, and Jedda to all make a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Nat 20!
21.
Okay, wow. As soon as Bottle Brew says that he's thinking the ship could get them through the tear, Jedda shifts her feet a little bit, and you hear sort of a little squelching sound. And you look down to see that her shoes are freshly wetted from stepping through rising puddles below.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, dear. Okay, we gotta get out of here. What's the fastest way to the top?
What do you mean? I know it's a lot of people, but powerful individuals, you could probably take over the ship if we put some gusto behind it.
The ship is sinking. There's water on the floor. It's coming up.
I mean, it's very slow sinking.
There's no way we can save the ship and take it through the tear if it has already gotten this badly underwater.
Yeah, if a whole level of the ship is already underwater, this thing is done.
So we need to get back to the friendship right now.
All right, tally ho.
Wait, hold on. We don't even need to get out of the ship. We just need to... I pull out the crystal. Anybody got a spell slot they're willing to spend?
Absolutely not.
Spell slot? You guys just have some conception of reality I cannot seem to understand.
Well, the only issue, Jedda, is we don't know if these other folks will come with us.
We also don't know when we go over where we're going to be.
I would say, Locke, there has been a pretty direct line. Like, the geography seems to be the same, so you'd probably be just over the river. Bait pointed out to you the relationship between the river and the frozen water, so you would know that.
Do we think that they would be able to come along? But there's also a damaging component to this, right? Or is it only
there is a
when it's the
damaging
purple
component.
thing?
You guys have discovered that if you're not wearing a ring, you can travel from timeline to timeline, but you will take some force damage.
So, I mean, the travel without the rings could cause a little owie. And since they're very owied already, it could be the big owie.
Okay, good point.
Maeve, can you still hear me?
Message would have ran out by now. I'd have to recast it, but I don't.
Fuck. Okay. Colt, do you have any way to get us all moving together at the same pace?
That's a good question.
Like, can you teleport us? Can you levitate us? Can you do anything?
What can you do, Kalt?
I have a lot of stuff to hurt people, but not a lot of, like, what they would call toolbox spells. So if you wanted, per se...
You're not a utility class, really.
If you wanted Kalt to, per se, like, fill this entire room with a poisonous gas, yes. I maybe could polymorph myself into something that could carry everybody.
It's okay. If you can promise me that you will try to kill anything on site.
I mean, sure.
We're just going to make a run for it.
All right.
I am going to carry Florence and Bottle Brew.
Yes.
And we're just going to sprint
Absolutely.
to the upper deck and
Dunzo.
jump to the Tide Pod.
It's a deal.
All right, I'm gonna cast mage armor on myself in preparation for what we're about to do.
I will be unable to do anything to help you guys because I'm carrying both of these people. So I need you to not care about what you are attacking. You just need to attack it.
That's the secret, Locke. I never cared about what I'm attacking as I, run up the stairs. This is about to be kick-ass.
It sure is going to kick ass, and you're going to find that out very shortly, because this is a very short breakaway. Thank you so much for listening to Dicey Waters, Chapter 74, Breaking and Exiting, and thank our patrons for once again deciding on the best possible title for the podcast. If you want to be able to check out the title votes and all that stuff, go ahead and join our Patreon, where in 1 week you will also be getting a 5-minute behind-the-scenes video on the most recent animation I posted. If you look at the animations on YouTube, we've linked them in our Discord, post them on social media, all that good stuff, but look for Dice Populi animations on YouTube. Also, with the season closing in 2 weeks, we are still accepting submissions for real-life mimics. So if you got a picture of something that has big mimic energy, so an object that looks like it's oddly out to get you, go ahead and send that our way in the Discord. Links for all this stuff can, of course, be found at dicepopuli.com. Just want to put that stuff in your noggins. Patrons are going to be very helpful in determining the future of the show, so please, if any of this stuff sounds like something you'd like, consider supporting the show. But the show is about to support you, because here we go, back into Breaking and Exiting. Let's find out just how kick-ass this is going to be. As Kalt prepares to head through the crew quarters, Locke, you do know that you can spot Maeve if you look out the porthole.
Based on the amount of time I think we still have, trying to communicate through that porthole is not going to be conducive, and I don't know if she's going to get the message that I want her to catch message. So we're just going to run for it.
Okay.
I mean, me and Kalt have message.
Well, that would have been great to know.
If Locke hasn't communicated with you, then I'm going to say that doesn't occur to you, Jedda. You don't know Maeve is outside. So Locke loads up both individuals, slinks bottle over one shoulder, and he lets out a big,
Oof! Oh my god, wow, you're a burly fella, aren't you?
and you swing Florence up on your left arm. The belt of Cloud Giant strength practically thrumming with narrative import here as Kalt swings the door open. Mage-armored Jedda takes the lead with him.
Oh, with the second I swing that door open, a fireball's going down that hallway. Like, 100%.
Gassed it.
It's casted.
All right. That thing flies down the hallway, igniting every pouch of Randall's and Specifics goods paraphernalia along the way. Setting a bunch of small fires and plumes of smoke. Everybody down here goes up against the wall, clearing the pathway because they're terrified, and the explosion rings out in the stairwell on the other side of the ship. I'm guessing you run.
Yeah, we're gunning it. Let's go.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do I see the ship starting to slowly sink? Like, does it look like it's starting to go, tilted at all?
Not much. The hole that it's coming through is pretty small because you guys didn't break it open that much, but it's enough that it's starting to lean to the side. And as you clock that particular change in posture of the ship, you do hear an explosion and see light flashing through the portholes. And Call to doing some shit.
I'm on my shit right now.
I think if I start to see the smoke, then I would be like, oh, geez, they're doing a thing. And I would start to make the Tide Pod again.
Gotcha. Okay, the Tide Pod forms underneath you and pushes you up above the water. And as it slowly grows back into its full size, you are now standing on top of a metallic cylindrical vessel that somebody on the top of the ship manages to spot as well. As somebody in the crow's nest starts calling out, but before they can even finish saying, "We have a vessel in the water!" you already hear the alarm bells ringing as fire pokes out the top of the ship. Zooming back in on our friends, you manage to clear the stairwell, but once you get to the top, it is a different story. There are easily over 20 people on the top deck that watch you come barreling out of the ship. The captain and the bosun are standing on a platform above you and now behind you, but you're exiting There's no way you're getting through this without rolling initiative, so hit me up. Give me those numbers.
I'm still in disguise. Would that help me, be able to...
I don't think so, because they would stop you anyways with the shit following you and the fire.
Yeah, fair.
That is a natural 20.
I got an 8.
Natural 20 on my initiative.
What is your actual initiative?
+4 to my initiative.
So she goes first.
Okay, so Jedda is top of the order.
Wouldn't you know it? I also got
second.
natural. No, I got 8.
Matt, what did you roll?
22. 18 plus 4.
Because of the nat, I'm going to put you below Locke. So we got Maeve, and then we've got the group.
I mean, it would go below me anyway because I got a 23. Maths.
Math. So I'm going to say, if you try to muscle your way past people, every time you run past a person, you will invoke an opportunity attack. I'm just going to do that again. There are 20 people at least up here. But Jedda, you're at the far back of the ship on the deck. We didn't establish that you know where Maeve is. So where do you go?
Okay, how does disengage work? I got cunning action, by the way.
Well, so disengage, it's basically just guarded. You don't take opportunity attacks from anybody.
Right.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's different in 5e.
Yeah, and because I got cunning action, I can take it as a bonus action on each of my turns. So.
Then I'll say you sort of hunker down, you throw your forearms up in front of you like a boxer, and you level your shoulders and charge forward and sort of muscle your way through. What direction are you going? Are you going straight the long way, going one of the sides? Are you going up? Where are you going?
All right, so, I'm going to take my movement, for my action, take a dash, and then for my cunning action, use the disengage. Basically move the long way, and then look around to see where Maeve or the Tide Pod is.
Okay, you take a hard right upon emerging from the ship. So on the starboard side of the ship, you look ahead and you see the formed Tide Pod in front of you. Off the bow of the ship, you would have to either jump into the water and swim there or run off the front of the ship and jump there. But you're pretty far from the boat.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the ship and swimming there. I'm not taking hits from 20 people.
Okay, then you are just going to straight muscle your way through the crowd and cannonball in the ship off to the side. Next up in the order, Locke. You hear Jedda splash down off the right. You know that Maeve is going to be straight forward toward the very front of the ship. Where do you go?
I'm going straight for Maeve.
Straight for Maeve. So while Jedda peels off to the right, you are heading straight forward.
I'm going to yell back at Kalt and say, follow me.
You hear the shouts of different mage lords as they all try to react to this. I'd say that you're able to muscle through a couple of them, but you are going to take a couple of opportunity attacks.
That is fine.
Some of the damage may go to Florence and Bottle Brew.
So are you going to roll the attack against me and then just decide if it hits them too? Or are you going to roll some against them and some against me?
I'm going to roll against you. You're controlling the movement,
Okay.
so I'm just going to go off your stats, but they may take the damage.
Right. I just want to make sure that if I cast shield, it's going to work.
Are you going to dash, or what are you doing?
I'm not using an action to attack. I'm just full moving and sprinting as fast as I can.
A dash action would get you more than halfway across it, not all the way off the other end, but on your way there, you are going to sustain 5 different attacks of opportunity,
Okay.
and I'm going to roll those now. We have 1. That is a miss. That is a miss. That is a miss. All single digits. 12 plus 3. Does that hit you?
No.
And 13 plus 3, I'm guessing that also does not hit you.
Correct.
Okay. So you are extremely fortunate at the incompetence of the people around you.
I mean, I also have a 17. Like, it's not...
Yeah, but I mean, at least one of them should have gotten something, but they're struggling to draw their swords. They're freaking out. You're shoulder checking each of them. The stink of bottle brew causes one to go, oh my God, and run off to the side. And you hear a voice from above you screaming like, what are you doing? Stop them! As Admiral Kahutek bellows out over the top of the ship. But here you are, almost off the end of the ship entirely, but not quite there yet. Maeve, you are sitting in the water. Do you take any particular action?
How far away from the ship am I?
You are not very far. You're about 30 feet away, so the nose of the Tide Pod under the water is almost brushing against it. You yourself are about 20, 30 feet away.
Would you say that I'm within 60 feet of Admiral Kahutek?
No. Admiral Kahutek is on the other side of the ship, long ways, and this thing's over 100 feet long.
Son of a bitch. Okay. I would like to cast nothing and I will just get the door open to the Tide Pod and be ready to help people get in ASAP.
You open the hatch and descend into the Tide Pod. It is now the turn of the group. As Locke barrels ahead, the Admiral leaps down from his perch and lands on the deck pretty near to you, Kalt. Draws a rapier and is going to make an attack on you.
You're gonna make an attack on me?
Yeah, you're the closest. Locke is very far away. That's initiative.
I sense bullshit here.
Rolled a nat 20.
That will hit.
With the sword attack, is going to slice his sword at you and do 7 damage, lopping off a little chunk of skin, but not cutting too deep. And he says,
You will never get away with this.
he's really trying to, be as imposing as possible. But that was Admiral Kahutek's attack, and it is now your turn.
It's my turn. Got a lot of stuff. So how many people are between me and exit, and what's the general distance again?
So both Jedda and Locke have sort of made paths through, so if you want to jump off the right of the ship, jump off the starboard, you could probably do that. If you don't, disengage from Kahutek. You could also run in a straight line after Locke. That would be relatively safe because he cleared that path. Either way, you'll need to disengage from Kahutek or take an attack of opportunity.
I'm going to polymorph Kahutek, and I'm going to turn him into a key cat.
Okay.
Or at least I'm going to attempt to. So I need you to make a wisdom saving throw 17.
Oh, boy. A flat 10 with no modifier.
I am then going to pick up Admiral Kahutek as a little key cat boy.
We got to play this out a little bit. The Admiral is going... The Admiral, after slicing you, on guards with his sword...
The power of the Mage Lords is not to be trifled with. You do not know the forces with which you...
And I'm going to whisper, I'm going to pick him up and start to scritch him. I'm like, I've already gotten away with it. And I'm going to leap off the side of the boat with the cat.
Okay. So the ship slowly begins to list and sink as some of the Mage Lords they're trying to ready weapons and get arrows going. They have not had time to prepare for any of this. All half of them were stoned or asleep at the start of this anyway. The ship begins to tip to the side little by little, and everybody is just watching you guys swim away. 1 or 2 of them jump into the water behind you, Jedda, but the rest are just watching helplessly.
I also want to say that they're amazed. They're amazed at how fast I swim. I swim 60 feet in a round.
Oh, right, you got the cloak of the manta ray.
Oh, the manta ray.
I'm like a little fucking Aquaman.
Yeah. So you land in the water and quickly begin to outpace Jedda. It is your turn, Jedda. What do you do? You're 100 feet away from the Tide Pod.
How do you calculate swim speed, actually?
I think it's half your normal movement unless you have a swim speed.
Correct.
How many people are on my tail?
1 or 2, not a lot, and they're a little distance behind you, but you also see Kalt starting to zip by. It is insane how quick this guy is moving while holding a kitten under one arm.
How far are the 2 guys from me?
They're probably 10 feet behind you.
I'm gonna use my action to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on one of them.
Go for it.
Creature of your choice, you can see within range, perceives everything as hilarious. Creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone.
I'm gonna guess that a 5 does not meet it.
Correct.
Okay.
So he's laughing his ass off and falling prone in the water.
So one of the Mage Lord upon whom you cast this looks up and says, "Oh my god, he turned him into a... Our boss is a cat! The ship is sinking! Oh my god, we're so fucked!" And just falls into the water and drowns laughing.
My god. And for the rest of it, I use my movement and my cunning action to dash, and that's my turn.
Next up in the order is Locke. You're still on the deck of the ship. You got a few more folks between you and the bow off which you plan to jump. You can certainly make the distance, but unless you take any specific action to mitigate it, you will take a few more attacks of opportunity.
Yep, still gonna sprint straight for it.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna roll 5 more of these bad boys. That's a 24.
Yep, that is
26. That is a 9. That is a 24. And the last one is also a 24. So 4 of these. Yeah, wow. The fucking tides have turned
You
on
either
this one.
rolled like really, really shitty or so high that shield wouldn't do
It has
anything.
been so fucking polarized this session, I can't believe it. And I actually rolled something else in the background that's going to get resolved soon, so fucking buckle up, buckaroos, because Locke, while you managed to plow through the first group of individuals, this second group was ready. Their swords are drawn, and you are going to take a flurry of blows as swords and fists make their way into you. So the ones on the sides are probably going to strike the people you're carrying. You yourself take a jab. Your scaly skin is pretty resilient. You take about 6 damage, and you know the rest of the sword's connected. You're not feeling it, and in the heat of the moment, you heads down, keep on running. What do you do once you reach the bow of the ship?
I'm jumping.
You leap off the front of the ship. I'd actually like you to make an acrobatics check at disadvantage.
Roll was an 18. Second was a critical fail.
All right,
Go
so
fuck yourself, Colin.
So you're about 20 feet off the surface of the water, and you are trying to land in the water next to the tide pod. Florence, who is unconscious, though, on your left shoulder, doesn't quite clear it, and you hear sort of a metallic clang as she bangs against the side of the boat.
If you Gwen Stacy me right now, I'm gonna be so mad.
Okay, you land in the water, you're sort of treading there as the light rays of the sun shine through the rippling surface. You notice that the water is not just water and bubbles, there's a little bit of blood coming from your right. Blood from Captain Bottle Brew is also filling the water around you. We're gonna cut to Maeve. This is a little bit out of order temporaneously. I'm gonna pick up right where your last turn left off seconds ago as you descend into the ship. However, as you're in there, you feel another vibrating rumble as the ship around you disappears. And you have shifted once again into the alternate timeline. Now, you are aware of this. You're caught off guard, but you clock it right away. So you're underwater, just sort of floating there. What do you do?
I will try to get my way up to the surface. I don't imagine I'm like that far under.
No,
right?
you're like maybe 8 feet down. You can easily see to the surface.
10, yeah.
I almost imagine this is like you get wiped over by the fucking magic bombs or whatever, and instead of like anything serious, you're just like, oh, God fucking damn it. This is not what I wanted. And you swim straight to the surface, and when you poke your head up, you hear, oh my God, thank God, there you are. As Bait and a very, very elderly fellow stand next to you on the shore of the river. I don't know what's going on, but I think Galagath is in trouble. They're coming for him. That's what all of this is about. They want him. I know we kind of knew that, but like he's here, and we got to figure out what to do with him.
Wait, Galagath is here in the Highlands?
So at the end of Meant to Be, Galagath descended the tower with you guys. And you say, he's here, and then Galagath just kind of like pokes out from behind Bait and waves awkwardly at you.
Right, the old man. Okay, yep. Oh, hello there.
At this point, I don't know if it's best to keep him. It seems like you guys kind of got something else going on, though. So what's the plan?
Keep him here, keep him safe.
All right. Good luck, Maeve.
Okay.
Wish you the best. And he waves, and you see him turn to Galagath, and what do?
I'm going to cantrip my way back to the Badlands.
You do it. You reappear on top of the ship, and you see Locke floating in the water next to you with blood spilling up underneath him and burbling to the surface with both Bottle Brew and Florence on his shoulders.
As far as like actions and stuff, what do I have available to me on this turn?
You've used your action to teleport. I'll say you use half your move to get to the surface. So you can move around. If you have any bonus actions or reactions, those are all in play.
I will move and try to help to the best of my ability to get people up onto the ship.
I'm so fucking stupid.
So Maeve, you climb down the side of the ship a little bit, hanging on to some of the ladder rungs that I'm sure you imagined into existence.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, trying to bring Locke into the tide pod as the folks up on the deck of the ship begin to cast a few spells at you. So you are reaching down, Maeve, to help Locke onto the ship. As you do, though, you notice bits of the water starting to crystallize, and you recognize Ray of Frost, something that you were just using not that long ago, as the wizards on top of the deck are frantically casting spells trying to slow you down. And these patches of ice start appearing in the surface of the water. The tide pod is too big to be affected by them, but they're pretty dangerous to the rest of you. And it is now Kalt's turn. Kalt, you are zip-zapping through the water. You're about to speed by Jedda with Admiral Cat Hoot Tech? Kitten Tech?
Hoot heck.
Nice.
Nice. Nailed it. In tow, as you try to blast on forward, you could try to drag Jedda with you. You could drown the kitten in a horrible display of things that would need to be cut from the podcast.
I'm not gonna drown a kitty cat.
Whatever you want, whatever you got to do.
How far away am I from the Tide Pod at this moment?
You're about 100 feet from it. So I guess with the Cloak of Manta Ray, you could dash and get there.
Is Jedda seeming to be like struggling real hard here?
Not struggling, but slow.
I'll zoom next to Jedda and I will attempt to kind of drag her along. And I'll use my dash action as well to get us as far as we can.
Okay. Jedda, do you consent to this happening to you, or are you pushing back?
I consent to this happening.
Excuse me, Jedda, do you consent to me saving your life? I'm going to need you to sign this waiver.
Yes. Oh, mama!
So Kalt waits for his lawyer to fax him over a waiver. No, you grab Jedda. Jedda screams, "Oh, mama," and you guys zip over to the Tide Pod. I think you're able to dodge the patches of ice that you seen forming, because that began a couple seconds before your arrival.
I'm a fast mofo.
And you make your way to the ship, and we are back to the top of the order with Jedda. The rays of frost keep on coming. Arrows are starting to be launched, and they're making their way down, pinging off the side of the ship, splashing into the water of the Tide Pod. Maeve has managed to help Locke to the surface of the water at the very least, but you are now all around the submarine.
I grab the kitty cat from Kalt, get up on top of the submarine, pulling out a dagger and holding it up to the cat's throat, and I scream, "Everybody stop what you're doing, or Cat Hootek gets it!"
That stops the volley of attacks, for sure.
All right.
We're going to take a pause from initiative now because nobody's actively engaging you. So everybody else, are you getting onto the ship, into the ship? How do you want to move?
I'm getting onto the ship.
Okay, you're getting onto the ship with Bottle Brew and Florence in tow.
And I'm gonna just immediately start trying to figure out if I can save whichever one is dying.
Kalt, what do you do?
I'm going to try and get in the Tide Pod and maybe, I guess I have to probably stick it close to the kitty cat, 'cause I'm not actually going to let Jedda kill the kitty cat.
Okay, gotcha.
That is so unlike Kalt.
So you guys have all managed to clamber onto the ship with the time that Jedda has bought you by holding a knife to a kitten's throat. Cool. Reasonable stuff. Excellent.
Classic maneuver.
God, I hope I never hear complaints about things going off the rails anywhere else. Give me a second. Woo! Okay, so the ship begins to leak smoke out of its rear. You hear the panic screams of people realizing that the ship is both sinking and on fire. And one of the people on the deck of the ship steps forward and says, "Come on, you just gotta give us our captain back. We can't do this on our own, please. We're just following orders."
You mean Captain?
No response from them. He's frantic and crying. These guys are not holding up well.
We're kind of in the middle of the water, right?
Yeah, you guys are just in the Tide Pod in the middle of the water.
And how close is land?
No land. You're in the Badlands timeline, so you're surrounded by
right.
water. The frozen waters are not far off, though.
Maeve says nothing. She's going to, I guess, help the wounded onto the ship, and then if I'm able to make a medicine check to try to help them recuperate or stabilize them, I would love the chance to do that.
Okay, so I think between Maeve and Locke, you are able to get... you guys descend into the Tide Pod with both Florence and Bottle Brew. Both of them are unconscious and badly wounded. Bottle Brew is certainly bleeding to death, and Florence has sustained a serious head trauma. I've actually begun to roll death saves for both of them. So if you can try to stabilize them, that would certainly be good. I will have you roll medicine now.
Can I do both in one turn or just one?
You can each do one.
Yeah, so I'll do one.
All right.
15.
19.
Hey.
Oh.
I'd say that you guys start frantically tending to these wounds as Jedda holds the others back. Kalt, what are you doing?
Do I see that those two people are in grave danger of dying?
Absolutely, you did. You watched them descend into the Tide Pod completely motionless.
I can only do one of these right now per turn, but I will pop off a healing word on Florence just so she has some hit points back. And that'll just do a
how much
first level.
do I recover?
4 hit points total.
So, Jedda, you've been holding a knife to this kitten's throat.
I just want to isolate that sound for perpetuity.
I think you need to say that one more time, Colin, just to make sure that we have it clear
All right,
of what's happening.
Jedda, you have been holding a knife to this kitten's throat for about a minute. Everybody else has made it into the ship and has begun triaging your passengers. You have all the cards in your hand. What do you do?
I'm gonna take the kitten, run into the Tide Pod, and tell Maeve to gun it before they get a chance to like do something, man.
You do exactly that. You slam the hatch above you. What do you do with the kitten? Where do you put it? It's a small ship, and there's now a kitten there. Do you hold on to it? Do you put it in a box? In a what? What do you do?
Is there like something I can put the kitten in, like a hatch or a box or a cabinet or something?
I see Jedda struggling with this cat, and I'm going to walk over and grab the cat and just kind of like hold it as one does to a cat, and I'm going to sit down.
Jedda, it's just a cat. It's for right now. For an hour, it's a cat. Just a cat.
All right. After the cat's taken from me, Maeve, gun it.
Okay.
Maeve, you step to the controls of the ship. You push those levers so good, and the Tide Pod begins to move.
Tide Pod.
You cruise underneath the sinking, flaming, soon-to-be wreckage of the SETI Alpha 5, with no hope for anyone to survive as they are surrounded by the frozen waters of the time-corrupted Nar Enial. The landscape would fade behind you if you could see it, but fully submerged, you sail away from this island and towards the inner tear.
Steve now, bitch.
Can I also just compliment Chowder's ability to describe the Bugs Bunny-esque way to get into the ship in less than 10 seconds when it took us 35 minutes to do it and record
It did.
We belabored that a little, I think.
I had a pretty aggressive agenda for how today's recording was going to go. And once again, you guys went above and beyond. And I'm so proud of you.
I don't know if you can blame us for that. I think there was a lot of Colin being like, well, how do boat work?
There was a little bit of that at the start. Other than that, I think it's just, I'd like that you guys took the time to game it out. I had a lot of fun with that. But now we're going to face the consequences of your actions. You guys are split.
What will you learn?
Jedda.
What will you learn that you... Oh, yeah, yep. Go on.
Actually... Okay.